I'm pleased to introduce Ms. Neelam Pandey Pathak. Ms. Neelam is founder and CEO of Social Bay Consulting, with over 2 decades of experience in manufacturing and automobile and energy sectors. With careers at Tata Motors, M&M Ltd, John Deere, Cummins India, Suzlon, Nordex, and Philips, she has experience in new product development, sourcing, and analytics. A mechanical engineer with education from IIM Lucknow and SDA Bocconi, Milan, Ms. Neelam is a certified project management professional and advanced ESG professional. She is serving as a global ambassador of Society of Women Engineers. She has also contributed as an ex-advisory committee for PMI India Champions Program and currently serves on supervisory board of CII Institute of Logistics for Women in Logistics Forum. Today, Ms. Neelam will share her outlook for sustainability implementation in supply chain and manufacturing sector. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Neelam.
As said that today we are talking on future of green manufacturing, and as said, when we are one of the important aspect of it is how can we implement sustainability into the supply chain, and I'll take up on the industry outlook per se, so that it is the broader audience that we have is able to relate to it. As I said, the in today's world, it's not a choice that okay, I have to do sustainability or not, but it is a compulsion to each and every industry, because one is there is also a global pressure that's been, that companies which are basically working with the global environment, there has been asked by their global partners also to reveal what is the carbon emission into their products or the services that has been done. Not only this, even the consumer side of the work has been preferring to ask, like Mr. Prada was mentioning, that even in his car tickets, there has been a mention of how much is the carbon emission done by this travel. Now, this is where people are asking, the consumer are asking that how greener your products or services are. And that is why it is important for the OEMs, for the manufacturers to take the considerations of this. Now, as we say, there is a global push, and as per the global survey that has been done, as you know, there has been an increase or expected increase of the global demand for the sustainable products or services by 70%, which is expected by 2025, and this is at the global level. While 83% of the consumers are ready to pay a premium pricing for the products or the services that has a more greener content. And when I say greener content, gradually we talk about all the process of it. I mean, whether we implemented all the three pillars of sustainability, that is social, economic, and environment. And I call them C, that is SEE, social, economic, and environment pillar, and all those areas that we talked into. And we talked about how India as a government and how the other governments are committed. We saw it, its commitments in the COP28 of implementing sustainability and the regulations. And as we move forward in the future, there will be more push by the government and the regulations, which will also naturally help or push the OEMs to adopt those sustainability practices into the manufacturing and to the supply chain as well. Now, if you see India's journey and how Indian industries has been doing and what all, like we just saw from Mr. Prakash, that how they are so sensitive on implementing sustainability. But in overall, if you see, India has actually taken a target to have commissioning of 500 gigawatt for the renewable sources of energy capacity creation. That means, and that's by the 2030, also as like 50% of our energy should be coming, so that means that there will be going to be push to use more and more of renewable energy sources for the manufacturing and for the operations. While there are many companies, we just saw one example, but then we saw even Tata Motors example that was talked today, that there are many companies today, they are talking about how in the whole process that there could be a waste reduction, how they can use more and more recycled material and uses of those recycled material during the product, design only when it is coming, and plus energy efficient, whether it is in the, like as we saw it in the last presentation, uh, whether it is LED lights or whether it is those tools, that how can there be more efficient utilizations of the tool that can be chosen. Not only this, but we know that, talking about that, yes, it is a compulsion, but we also know that there is also a challenge, and that is the reason, and especially when it comes to, because our organization Social Bay, we have in fact a dedicated pillar for sustainability where we one is the creating this awareness and the training to the OEMs and their supplier partners on the sustainability, and plus what is the sustainable solutions or the projects that can be done, because we have seen that there's been a lot of tremendous ask which has been coming onto this area, because it is important first of all to make that awareness to the team members who are going to be working or who are working on those areas, to sensitize them what is this we are talking about. And as I said, when we sensitize them for all the three pillars of sustainability. If I have to ask, if somebody has to ask, what all that we should be doing, what is the major strategies that should be implemented if we have to. We talked about circular economy during the discussion. So it's naturally, product design for reuse, recyclability, and closed loop manufacturing, and minimizing on the waste reduction. Or, in a very simple way, how can you earn from your waste as well? How can you utilize your waste into the whole business cycle to even create a revenue out of it? I talked about renewable energy in length, that there will be regulatory pressures. They will also be asked by the governments to have more utilization of the renewable energy or clean energy, either from solar, wind, or hydro, into the operations or into the whole supply chain, whether it is a last mile delivery by the electric vehicles, or whether it is the operations by the use of the electric power generated by the solar or the wind. When it comes to sustainable sourcing, one important thing, and here I see that it requires a collaboration between the OEMs and the supplier partners. One is educating your suppliers, and as we know that the scope 3 of the emission that is used for most of that is actually contributed by the supplier partners and their supplier partners and that whole eco of the supplier partners. So it's very, very important to take them on the board, collaborate along with them, learning along with them, sharing the practices that the OEM has done and how their supplier partners can be done. I believe by doing that, it is very, very important that the suppliers will also be on board of this, and they will be looking it for the longer. Because today, when I interact with a lot of the MSME suppliers, I see that there is one question they always see, that how much I am willing to invest today for a benefit that I might not realize it today. But then they are doing it because there has been an ask by the owners. But then that's where I see that collaboration is working in, but it has to be more strongly implemented and adopted. Not only this, even the contracts that we do along with our partners is very, very important to put the clauses of the sustainability very clearly and from all the aspects. As I said, as I was mentioning earlier, that we do mention very clearly what are my warranty terms, what is the year-on-year cost reduction that we need, but I do not see much in focus on putting it up the clauses that is pertaining to what is the environmental impact, what is the recyclability material use, and the commitment being asked from them. Because until unless we are going to be putting it up as a part of those contracts, why do we think they will there'll be effort from them? Because then it will be more of, okay, whether if I wish to do it, I'll do it. If I cannot, then I'll see it later. That should not be the thought process, and that sensitization is important. I talked about the resource efficiency. It's like how can we, either in our part of operations or part of logistics, or even part of even the last mile delivery or last mile consumer services, that there could be more utilization of the products or services that are energy, that are resource efficient, or the processes, or we can adopt more on the leaner manufacturing side, or something that, as I said, how can we reduce creating more waste in the environment? Because it's very, very important. All the waste that is created, how can we utilize it, the part of the process that is the circular economy? So that efficiency, that resource efficiency has to be looked at. I believe I saw that measurement matrix in the last presentation, and I was very happy to see that there are organizations who are looking into it. And the last point is, as I said, that how data-driven decisions, or including AI or IoT or machine learning as a part of it, how the real-time data is bringing that clarity and transparency today. People, it's like, what is if we have to see some data related? So it has to come on the same integrated platform, because I still see Some companies they have different system for procurement, different for manufacturing, and different for order intake, different for the last marketing and the sales. And that's where how these systems can integrate together. They can talk with each other so that there is a seamless data transfer and the manual interruptions are lesser, and which will going to bring more transparency in communications along with the AI build infrastructure that can be utilized. I believe these will be some of the very high level that will be pertaining to various industries that can be implemented. But if I have to actually do, or if I'm an organization and I have to implement this, what is that? Naturally, first of all, is very important. And I wanted to say here, the people who are listening to us, do understand what is the sustainability goals of your organizations are, and see it how those goals as part of your goal or your organization or your function goal. Is it there? If not, do have that focus onto it, because we see a lot of organization, they make the goals later on, or it is at the very high level but not drilled down to the individual goals. So it's important to identify and have those goals aligned, because until and unless those executors are going to do, we are not going to get to that level. And then develop an actionable plan. I know that, okay, everybody say net zero is 2070, so we have a lot of time. No, we do not have. If you see that actually there was an intermediate of getting a carbon neutral goal by 2047. So do understand, it's not only that we will be also pressurized by outer economies to do this and implement this. So to be relevant in the business, it's very important that we have to run at the same pace what the other global economies are running into it. And third is, yes, I understand this and I get this question very frequently. Okay, but it requires a financial commitment. Yes, it is very important as the head of the organizations on this, that there should be a commitment, investment that should be done for the sustainability implementation, because that will also show the focus that the leadership is having, and it has to be driven to that. Because we cannot always, there are long term benefits of it, and surely that larger picture has to be told to the people or the team members. And last, naturally, as many organizations are already into it, it's very important to monitor where and how far they are from their goals. So as I said, these when and as I said, I have taken it on a very high level, but these are some of the strategies and call for the actions that will surely help in contributing to the environmental protection. And in fact, I wanted to tell, as per the data, we have seen that there are reduction in the cost of their products or their services, because that is the one thing also companies struggle. But if you'll see, there is a longer term, you will see the costs are getting reduced, and naturally it enhances your brand reputation. That's the one of the bigger thing. You become part of those whole organizations who are focused onto it. And I believe India has a significant opportunities to become a leader into this space by overcoming the challenges. And This is what I wanted to share. Thank you, Darshi, and the team OEM.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing about sustainability implementation in supply chain and manufacturing sector.